Hello and welcome to the Pick and Boots Vintage Facebook page and YouTube channel. I'm so glad you're here. Today we are going to finish what we were working on last week. And I tell you what, I'm super excited, super stoked. I cannot wait to begin working on this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to catch those of you up that didn't see the video or didn't even know what I made. So I'm going to just kind of tell you real quick. Look at how cute this is. This is the Leonidas mold from Iron Orchid Designs. And the first time I used it, I made a door knocker. It's got the little hanger on the back, and I have it actually hanging in my chicken coop on the door. It's called Cluckingham Palace. But it just doesn't look right. I mean, it's missing something. I mean, it is cute 2D like this, but I just had to take him and make him 3D so it looks like an actual knocker. Now, this was my inspiration. Hey, Lori, I'm so glad you're here. So this was the inspiration. See how 3D and the ring is in his mouth? And then even the little the little knobs for your pulls. This is 3D and that it hangs. So it's not like the one that I had to make. It's just kind of bland. So I took it up a notch. Hey, Regine. Hey, Sheila. Yay. My girls are here. All right. So let me start by sharing my screen. It's probably going to look a little messy because I got a lot going on here because I just don't always know what I'm going to do. Hey, Luann. I don't always know what I'm going to do. So I have all my stuff here. But you know what I am going to do is I'm going to adjust my camera just a scotch. There we go. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop in over here. There. Not that you need to see me, but I just feel better when I'm on the camera. Hey, Melinda. Welcome. Yay. Everybody's here. So, and Regine. Did I say that? And Pamela. Yay. So, guys, I'm super excited about this. Look at this. First thing I did, I was in Florida. I went like a day or two after we did this live, and I got back Monday. The first thing I did was I ran to the studio. I had to see what it dried and looked like. Now you'll see that there is some of the air dry clay on the ring. I'm just going to clean it up. I'll just use a baby wipe or just scratch it off, or I might even just paint over it. I haven't decided yet. What I do need your help with, so start thinking about this for me, is remember the frame we did? We added the classic elements, the little trimming part they had on the end of that mold, and we added it to our... Oh, good, Melinda. I have been, too. You have no idea. I've been dying to work on this. So I need help. Like, what color should I paint that? You know, this is going to be all the patina colors, so it's going to be all the, turquoises and the light greens with the copper paint. So I have to try to figure out what would look best. I'm thinking maybe, bear with me here for a second, I have antique gold. Mix it with the pigment, and then antique gold might bring out some copper, and then antique it up a little bit. I don't know. That's just something I was thinking about. So think about that and let me know. Put this to the side. Okay, so obviously here's that Leonidas mold. As soon as I saw him, I fell in love. I had to buy him. I had to order him. And that's when I made that fountain. That was the first thing that I thought. It was a lion fountain. And it was so cool when it came to fruition. And it was spitting out water. I just love it. All right. So let me just show you. I'm going to be using the Pentart Patina Effect. It's a paint set. They have two different sets. There's a Patina paint one. Or they have... I don't have it in a box because I have it in my supplies. It comes with it comes with 3 colors of drops, and then it has the pigment, which is called Patina Effect Powder. And this one is actually a chemical effect, which takes a little bit longer to process and a little bit longer to get the look. But this will give you a true patina look, like an authentic look. It's a great product. Has a little bit of an odor, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to do the old cheat way. So we're going to use some of the metallic paint. We have it in copper. Hey, Sharon, thanks for joining. And then we have, of course, all the different colors you're going to see in patina. So we always start with the darker color, and then we work down, start to go into the greens. Yes. Luann, do you use the paint, or do you actually use the effect one where it's the chemical reaction? I've used both, and I love both. Sometimes when you need something fast, like especially on a live, you need to use the paints. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cover my whole entire lion with... Oh, Melinda, thanks for loving the fountain. I love him too. So we're going to start with metallic. This is called anti-copper. And I'm just going to put some in. Well, it always works best if you just pop the tops off. There we go. I just want to make sure I put out enough. Whoops, let me put it on the camera. I put out enough so I can cover the entire lion. And I can always add more. Okay, there's the... Okay, I'm going to try... Oh, the paint? Yes, good. Well, then good. You can give me some tips, too. All right, so I've already made a mess. I've got it on paper, and I've got it on my paper towel. Oh, my goodness. Okay, now we're going to go in order. You can see on here I've already used it a couple times. Sometimes you only need a dot. It depends on the size area you're going to be using it on. Okay, there's that color. This is the turquoise. The specific name, oh yes, it can be very potent. This one's called turquoise blue. And then the next shade we have is just regular turquoise. You know what, Lori? I would say they're very comparable, especially the patina one. The nice thing about the Pentart versus the Dixie Belle is the Pentart gives you a smaller size and it gives you a kit. So everything you need is together for the same price of like one bottle of the Dixie Belle. Because for like rust, you need the iron paint with the blue spray, green spray. With the kits, let's see, I don't have a box in. You get everything you need in a small kit. But if you're doing a big piece of furniture, absolutely, get the bigger ones. But if you're doing like a little craft project, these ones, not the paint ones, but the actual effect kits, they work fabulously. Especially the, I'm a big fan of the rust one. I don't use the patina one quite as often, but I do like it. I guess I'm just a sucker for rust. Oh yeah, it's basically the same stuff. It's just on a smaller scale. Dixie Belle always does a good job with their products. They have a great product line. They do a lot of product testing, and if I still had a store, I would still be carrying their product. But I don't, so oh my goodness. Well, you guys are used to this. I'm always a mess. All right, so first things first. Let's go ahead and get... Oh boy, here. We're going to go ahead and use the copper here. Tea copper. Hey, honey. We're having some bathroom work done, and the valve to turn the water back on is down here in my studio, so he's sneaking in to turn the water back on. And look how dramatic that is. Isn't that beautiful? Oh. They're going to have to listen to that. Oh, boy. So I apologize for the noise in the background. The pump is, or the filter is right here by my desk. So the idea of this patina kit is to base coat everything on the bottom layer with this color. And it's okay if I get a little bit around here because I can just paint over it. I did do a test run. What I did was I put some of the wax paste on this side just to see if I would create a barrier so I'd be able to wipe it off. Let's see. Yeah, actually, it does wipe off pretty good, but not perfectly, so it's okay. I'll go back with some of the texture and the white paint that I did. And who knows, I might even just use some of the dark wax around it, so it won't even matter. A friend told me it goes back to my... Oh, yeah, exactly. All right. And I was a little nervous about how my lion turned out because, you know, he's not perfect. There's some not bubbles, but, you know, bumps or whatever. But adding the patina is going to hide, and it's just going to hide any imperfections. But it's definitely going to show the detail. So in just a second, I'm going to raise it up and show you. Can you guys hear that filter? Oh boy. I already love it. I love this copper color. So pretty. I wonder if this would be a great color for the frame. All right, let me get in his mouth. Super excited the way during the video we were able to get the ring in there, and the ring's not going to come out either. Look, it's in there. Definitely gives it character. All right. There's a couple little spots. I'm going to get a little brush and try to get in the spots without getting too far. Oh, I need a thicker brush or a sturdier brush. There we go. Yeah, okay, well, it's shut off now. Well, anyway, I apologize, so hopefully it won't come on again. Or at least not till I'm done. I need to figure out a way to mute that. Maybe sometimes I wear my microphone. Maybe if I wear my microphone, it'll block that out. All right, so I just want to get the edges real quick. I know it's not very fun to watch somebody paint, but if you have any questions, this would be a great time to ask. Because what happens next will be the magic of layering the patina. I might do a couple things different than what you've seen people do before, so. But everybody, you know, has their own technique, their own way. But the end result is generally pretty close. All right, so look at the details. Now remember we added the eyebrows just to give it a little bit more detail, especially with adding the 3D. Oh. All right. Well, I kind of got it all over the ring, but we can always change that later. All right, I'm just going to give it a once over. There's going to be so many layers. Even if I missed a spot, the other layers I might get what I missed. All right. Woo, look at that. I feel like I want to zoom in a little bit on it, so let me pull this out and zoom in just so you can see it better, especially when I start laying down the different colors of patina. How's that? Is that better? And you know what? I'm not even going to be on camera for this because I don't need to be in there. You don't need to see me. All right, so I'm going to give this a little bit of a quick dry, just in case I have any areas that have pulled up. Because this definitely needs to be dry before I start mixing in all the blues and turquoises. So I'm thinking, I really like the knocker part in that antique color, so maybe I'll just use that on there. And maybe not put as much patina paint on the knocker as I'm going to put on the lion. But it is a metallic colored paint. And you can either buy the kits with the mini sizes, or you can just get the names of the paints and then buy them in this size, and that way you have a bigger supply of the patina paint effect at home. All right. Lori, don't they? I think so too. I'm so glad we added them. All right, so here's the lion, and there's the frame. Now, what do you think? I'm thinking, and I was thinking the antique gold because it kind of mimics that, and then we can wash in some of the antique wax or some liquid patina to antique it, which I think might pull out the patina, but also I have the brown mica because you can definitely mix these to get your own custom color. So let's do that. Let's make our own little concoction. So we're going to take, obviously, the pigment fix. Boop. And I'm just going to pour a little bit in my little container here. Remember, this stuff, you don't need that much. It does go a long way. So if you buy like 1 jar of this pigment fix, you could have, like 8 of these, and you could probably work with all of them till they're all gone. Okay, so we're going to go antique gold. Grab my little stick. And see the nice rich color? It kind of looks like the lion already, so I think it's going to be perfect. So give that a good stir. Now, sometimes it takes a second for it to want to mix. Sometimes you feel like you have to force it, and there's like this little puff of... Generally, I like to put the powder in first and then put the pigment fix on top, but... We're going to brush on a little bit on this and just kind of see if that's the look we're going for. And that way it's giving this just a little bit more time to dry. Definitely don't want to mix that up. All right. I'm just using a regular brush, and let's go. Ooh, look at that. That is pretty. Now, it doesn't 100% match this, but we don't really want it to match. Because what frame actually matches the color of the picture or whatever's inside of it? So because we added the little ball trim from the Classic Elements mold, I'm making sure, I'm going in circles so I can make sure that I get the sides of the bowl of the little balls, and then I'm going to go back and get the rest of the detail. Has a nice metallic sheen. Now, I normally always use the gold, but I do like the antique gold. It's giving it a totally different, like a more warm look. Look at that. What do you think? You like this color? Oh, I like it a lot. All right, let me go brush the sides real quick. And we might have to put on 2 coats. We might not. We'll see. Generally, a 1 coat is good enough with the pigment fix, especially if you're going to put like antique powder or something, or antique paste over it. Nice. Okay, look at the inside. Don't want to miss that. All right. The Pigment Fix by Pentart is just amazing. All right, so that's where it's looking so far. And you can see right here, like there's shadows. But what we're going to do eventually when this dries, we're going to add the antique paste. And look, I just mixed up just enough. All right. So I'm going to put this over to the side to dry. There we go. All right. I'm going to make up a little cup to put all my brushes in. The water was shut off, so I didn't have a chance to do that before. But now the water's on, and I'm sitting here, and I can't get up. So I had an extra bottle of drinking water, so that's going to work. All right, let's go, and let's get dirty, and let's do this patina thing. Now, what we want to do is we're not going to like paint it. We're going to dry brush it. So let me put these out of the way here. I have my brushes. Got brushes. I have one for every color, and then extra one just in case. And I have my water bottle. We're gonna add some water just in case, and then I have a rag, and then we have the antique paste. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna offset this. Not offset, offload it. Just because sometimes when you pick it up, you get too much. And we're always going to start darker, and then we're going to go lighter. So we have 4 colors here. All right. And we're just I'm going to start at the bottom just in case I mess up. So I'm just going to kind of brush it on. Not pushing it into the cracks. More or less just dry brushing the parts that are on top. Let's zoom in even further. I really want you to see this. Okay, how's that? Better? The only thing is I will be spinning him just because it's easier for me. Again, this is actually faux patina. It's not real patina, but it does give the appearance of patina. All right, now let's go into his eyes. My nose. And whenever you're applying something to create something that looks aged, you don't want it to be perfect. Like you don't need it to be balanced. So this side is a little bit heavier than this side, and that's okay. Can't forget inside his mouth. The ring I'm just going to come back and do. I think, I don't know, maybe I should just paint that right now. Let's just do that. Do I have any of the, let's see if I have any of this left, if I have to get more out. Yeah, I've got just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. And it's okay. I like that the dark part of that metal is showing through. I just kind of want to get rid of some of that white. But I do like that texture from the clay is on there because it gives it kind of like a old crusty look. All right, so now we're going to move on to the next color, which this was turquoise blue. Let's do that. We'll put up here. Oops. Turquoise blue. And then next is turquoise itself. And then I have these 2 over here. And I'll let you know what those names are in a minute. I forget off the top of my head. Again, I'm going to offload it. And I'm just going to dry brush over the same areas I just was with the other ones. Heavier in some areas, lighter in other areas. And what you have to do is you have to trust the process. When you're doing this, you might doubt yourself. You might say, oh my gosh, this looks awful. I don't know what I'm doing. Don't listen to that. Keep going. Trust the process. I remind myself all the time, trust the process, trust the process. Okay, so me spinning it keeps getting it out of focus. So you know what? I'm not going to spin it anymore. I'll just leave it. Okay, so the next color we have is this one, and it is called Mint. So that's easy to remember. So, Mint. We do the same thing. Offload and just kind of dry brush on. Not necessarily putting it everywhere like I did with the other colors. Just haphazardly putting it on. Trying to create the most authentic look. Okay, and then finally the last color in this one is called Country Green. And this is a nice light color green, and it should tie it all together. So again, offset and do a little dry brushing. This one I'm going to go really light. Oops. Okay, so here is what it looks like currently. Now, I need to get my spray bottle because I want to show you something, a really neat trick. Sometimes when you're putting on the patina, it's clunked. It doesn't look natural. So what we're going to do is we're going to just actually spray it. So we're going to take our little mister. You can use whatever kind of water you have. And I'm just going to spray. And what that's going to do is it's just going to kind of soften the look of the paint where it's not going to be so, rigid where one color's here, one color's there. It's going to kind of blend the colors, if that makes sense. There we go. I'm going to come back on the screen. So it's going to kind of blend the colors. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take, I have a baby wipe, and I'm just going to kind of push. Not necessarily wiping anything away. I'm dabbing. It's kind of blending and mixing and pushing the colors together. But just wait and see what happens. Just gives it a little bit more, more natural look. Do it one more time. I like the water on there. Just kind of, yes, natural drips like the rain comes down. Absolutely. That's why I love the real, like the chemical effect one, because that one does the best with the drips and stuff. But as you can see, as I'm taking not much is coming off, but what it's doing is it's kind of blending and clumping the patina together to make it look a little bit more authentic. Oh, I love it. Okay, so what I need, you have to try the water. We're still not done, but I'm going to let this dry for a second. I want to show you all something, so if you don't mind bearing with me. I have something here that could make your life easier when, let's see, when you're trying to follow me or all my links and stuff. Let me just pull this up real quick. Share screen, start broadcast. What I have is there's this little, here it is. See this little QR code? Well, I want to show you, this has all of my stuff. I printed it right here, and I'm going to show you exactly what it does and how to use it. So what you need to do is you need to go to your camera. Let's see, I'm going to pull this up. Display on my phone. So you pull up your camera. You want to make sure it says photo. If it doesn't say photo, if you're on video, it's not going to work. So make sure it is on photo. Then all you have to do is take your phone up to the QR code. For some of you that may not know how to do it, what happens is, actually, let me do this. So there's my screen. Let me get rid of that for a second. When I scan this, if you notice the little yellow, if I click that yellow link, this is going to take you to my special all-in-one place. Let's call it all-in-one. So this tells you all of my platforms, gives you my latest videos from YouTube. So here's the first one. If you missed the first video on the lion, it's right there. And then there's products. There's a link. You go to products from the live. My Pentart playbook. Those of you that don't know what it is, you might want to check it out. I go in depth with all the Pentart products. I'm halfway through the year. And there's a link for a shopping decoupage cream paper, my blog, other supplies, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. It has my creating kits, sign up for my email, and then getting notified about going live. But if you ever need everything, this is where it's at. So this is how you reach me, and I'm going to put it back up on the screen right there. And also, I think I put it in the comments too. All right. So, all right, almost dry. Look at him. What do you think so far? I know we need to add more stuff, but let me see. I need to go back here, stop sharing screen, because I need to be able to pull myself back up. So I'm just going to add the camera back. Here we go. All right. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to actually add the antique paste, because the antique paste is what's going to be the dark parts. It makes it look a little bit more authentic. I just want to make sure that it's dry. That's why I was doing the QR code thing. I was giving this a little bit of time to dry. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to put the antique paste on here while it's still wet. All right. Now I need your help with something else. So here is Mr. Lion. There's the frame. Should we leave this color white, or should we antique it a little bit? I'm thinking we're going to need to antique it a little bit. What we're going to do, we're going to have to cover up this anyway. So, get my little cup out, some 3D powder, and mix a little bit of paint, and then 3D powder. Now, have you all used the 3D powder yet? This stuff is amazing. It's just little teeny dots that will add texture to your whatever you're working on. You can add these 3D dots to either paint. You can add it to like modeling paste, just different. You can hear the grit. Antique, okay. So I can either add some antique in here, or I can just do it when it's done. But let's try that. You know, what the heck? Let's see. Do I have... I don't have any here. Thinking... Oh, you know what? Let's try this. Let's try just a scotch. Just a very teeny drop of this... Oh, gosh. Mica powder. And there's a teeny drop. It's on my fingers. Let's see. Let's see what happens. If that gives it... Yeah, that gives it just a shade. I'm going to add just a touch more, though. Oh, gosh, it's so messy. Oh, my goodness. Not a lot, but it gives just a little bit. Yes, it's like sea salt, or sea, yes. All right, now we're just going to paint again around the lion. We're just going to get rid of all of my messes that I made here. But I had to glue the lion on because he was 3D. All right. Take some of this. And we're just going to go around the edges. Doesn't have to be perfect again because we're probably going to use the umber antique paste around it anyway to give it a antique look, or even the liquid patina could work too. I like the liquid patina, it just smells so bad. And while this is drying, we're going to finish up the lion. Boy, I made a mess. I have it everywhere. It has been so hot lately that I feel like I'm in Florida where I can just stick my projects outside in the sun and it dries within 5 minutes. During the winter, definitely can't do that up here. Too cold. Does not dry as fast. All right. There we go. Okay, now for the next part, let's take the wax, the umbra. After I close this out, this is... I would not recommend putting this outside unless it's under a covered area, simply because I used air dry clay. Air dry clay will wear down after a while because of the water, the elements. If I would have tried it with resin, yes, but then it would have been hard to get the 3D. So I guess you could probably, I know there's a newer resin out there that I think you can mold. It comes off and you have like a little bit to mold it first, but I just didn't want to risk it. So this will just be something I hang in my wall. All right, so making sure. All right, so now we're going to take, oh, thanks, Ladette. I'm sorry, but I'm glad you finally, I'm glad you were able to join in. Okay, so let's go. I'm just going to lightly put it, I'm going to do it on the right side so you can see the difference compared to the left side. Okay, so you can definitely see the difference by just the wax. But we're not done. What we want to do is we want to kind of wipe it back because, oops, I got a little bit of 3D powder in there. That's okay. I'll just add a character. I'm going to get a fresh baby wipe. I'm just going to take a baby wipe and I'm just kind of wiping away some of the wax. We don't need it to be so heavy on there. But so this, look at the difference. The right side has the antique wax, and then the left side does not have it. So that is another part of making sure you add this layer to get an authentic look, because we're not using the true patina mix, which is a chemical reaction. We are creating it. We're creating an illusion, I guess you could say. And you can go as heavy or as light as you want. I kind of like it when it's heavy in the cracks, because I'm going to wipe away the stuff that's on top. So let's go a little heavier on this side, and that way you can see what it looks like. I like to do that just so you can get a sense of what your style might be. Oops, actually I got the white. All right. So now you can see the difference here. This is where it was just put on. Now this is where it's going to be heavy. Still going to wipe it back, but I'm just making sure I'm getting it heavy into the crevices. And we're not done with this when we put the wax on. We have more to do. Not much, but okay, so now I'm just going to take, but look at that. Just kind of wipe it. So yes, I'm going to have to balance the two sides out, but I just want to show you the different options you have at different points. Let me turn it this way so I can see. Now I am getting a little bit of the loose 3D powder on here, but since there's no glue or anything, it'll fall off when it's dry. All right. Hey, Leslie. So now this is with just the dark umbra, but this is where I put it on heavy and I try to get into those cracks, not trying to cover up all of the copper, but just enough. So see the difference? So I personally like this side best. Some people might like this side best. So what I need to do is I need to balance this out a little bit more. Now I know it's not going to be a true antique, won't be balanced 100%, but I just need it to be a little bit more balanced. Whew. Okay. Yes. All right. He's beautiful. Okay. Really quick, I'm going to... I don't want to put too much dry on here because this is wax and I don't want to melt it, but I just want to give it a little bit. All right. So now this is where we can come back, and what we need to do is we need to highlight a few areas, and we want to highlight it with the metallic because it'll do a lot. It just adds a little bit more. Now look at how much I have left. I put out way too much. These little sets, even though the paints look so teeny, they go a long way. I put just a little. Maybe I'll just stick my brush in there because I don't want to put out too much. Where'd my... Oh, I gotta get a new one. I'm gonna get... Let's do this one. I'll stick my brush in here, and I'm gonna have a little bit too much on the brush, so I'm just gonna kind of offset some and get rid of some of that, because what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna dry brush a little bit more, just to bring out some of the details, and you'll see once it starts happening. Whoa. Like you could definitely see it when I added it over here. Again, we're not putting on too much, just brushing just a little bit, just enough. Maybe I put a little too much on his nose, but I can go back with a little wipey and try to get some of that off. There's my wipe. And one more squirt of water. And this just kind of makes everything just blend and work together. Ta-da! Wow. What do you think? Now everybody's patina is different, and every time I use patina, mine always comes out different because I like to play. I like to add a little bit here, add a little bit there. But for me, this is nice. Let me put myself back on screen. Like, this is nice, but I'm a authentic, real one. I like the effect kit, the one that has a chemical change, just because, like, you don't really control it. It's just more, oh, there we go, get some drips. It's just, it just happens, and so it's nice. So I just put a little bit of paint on there, and I put some water, so I'm going to get a little drip. I'm going to add a little bit of this color. There we go, a little drip. Down his nose, not too shabby. And then, of course, if you don't like it, you just take it and wipe it off. He looks 100 years old. Oh, awesome. I love it. So, yes, he does look 100 years old, but you know what? This part doesn't jive, right? It doesn't look 100 years old. So we need to fix that. Of course, the paint I just put on with the 3D still a little bit wet. So let's dry that a little bit real quick. I don't know, looking at it, it feels like he needs some more of his the color to show through. So what I might do is I'm going to add just a little bit of water. I'm going to do it right here. We're going to test it out. Take the baby wipe and kind of wipe just a little bit and see what happens. Ooh, okay, so you can see a little bit more of the green is showing through. So let's go ahead and do a little bit more. Oh, I like that. See that? Gives it more of a worn look. Kind of like when you're, distressing furniture. You use sandpaper maybe a little bit, but it kind of gives you just, oh yeah, there we go. There we go. This is now showing more of the green, which I absolutely love. We're going to do a little bit down here on his chin, and then we're going to be finished. But yeah, so in doing that, now just look how close that look how real that looks. See that with the layers kind of just all brushed and blended together. All right, let me just show you. I'm going to hold it up just so you can see the better lighting. See, look at it. He looks real, doesn't he? Huh. I do too, Anna. More of the green and the blue coming through for sure. All right, let's go back down. I'm going to do a little bit more to his nose because the nose would be an area that we get touched a lot because it sticks out. So I'm just going to use my baby wipe and just kind of rub a little bit and look at that. So anywhere I feel like there's maybe a clump of the copper, I'm just going to wipe away. There we go. And then one more area right here. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Now this is dry, and we need to decide. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole thing better. All right. So probably need to antique this a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and use the same antique paste. Because the difference between the paste and the wax paste and the antique paste is it shows you even on here, it goes in the cracks. Whereas the wax paste doesn't have the cracked look. So it's not meant to go in the cracks. Okay, so I'm just going to take it, use my brush again. And it looks like the paint is dry. I didn't check all the areas, but it's going on nicely. I'm going to put it on, then I'm going to go back with a clean, lint-free rag and remove the excess. And I'm really pushing in with the crevices because I want the dark to stay in the detail. Because I want it to look like this frame, like these little beads were already on the frame. We didn't add them. I love frames. No matter what estate sale I go to, I always find at least one frame. Sometimes I'll find a mirror that will become a frame because I break the mirror. Oh my gosh. All right. So here's a lint-free rag, and we're just going to lightly, not heavy, just remove the excess, because if we have too much on there, it takes too long to cure. And we don't want any brush strokes or whatever. Now, I didn't do the sides. I don't know if we necessarily need to, because we only put one coat on, so some of that brown is kind of showing through. Oh, you do, Leslie? Yeah, right? Frames are awesome. All right, so we just have one thing left, and that is to take care of this. What are we going to do? It's still too bright white. We need to add, let's just, maybe, because some of this is still a little loose, because this 3D powder and the paint does take a little bit longer to dry. We're going to try to dry brush a little bit of the antique paste that is left. We'll go with the edge first. Very light. Yeah, that's nice. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go even lighter, or try to, and just touch on the raised surfaces, because being that it is the 3D, there's different bumps and layered areas. This is still kind of white. I'll get a little bit more. But yeah, that's definitely working so far. It's giving it that old appearance. And it is brushing off the loose parts, but that's okay, because those loose parts would have come off anyway. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit heavier. Now, there's one thing I think that needs to be done to the lion, and that is to put an outline of the antique paste around it, just to create the shadow, create the authentic look. And so that's what we're going to do. Let me just see if I can find the right brush. It's got to be a stiff brush, but it's got to be a thin brush. I think this one's going to be good. They are getting harder to find for sure. So I'm going to do the right side, and we're going to see how we feel about it. To me, it's kind of just blending in with the lion itself. And then I'll fan it out just a little bit. Let's see if we can see a difference. Let me lift it up. Okay, so this side I outlined, and this side I didn't. I'm going to go ahead and outline the other side just to keep it as balanced as possible. Okay, feather it out just a bit. There we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is a little dark for the patina, but everything ages differently. All right, let's see. Where's the frame? Now what I need to do is I'm going to hang it and put it on the wall and take some pictures. But that is, let me see if I can lift it up. Oh, there we go. All right. Let's go just to me. See, it looks a little different in the bright light. Now you can really see. You can't really see the, for some reason laying on the table, but when you get it up, look at that 3D. Whoa. Total different vibe, right? All right, so you have to let me know your honest opinion. What do you think? Do you think we nailed it? When I say we, I mean we, because you guys helped me pick what we were doing. The frame does bring out the color more. And you know what? Having it up, I don't know, it just doesn't give it the same vibe when it's sitting on the table like that. But when I held it up, way different. Okay, let me just see. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? Probably not. But anyways, I'm always on here. You can DM me, message me. That is the part 2. Thanks, Melinda. Woo woo. I always love it when whatever I'm creating works out, because it doesn't always. There is that added pressure of being live and creating, but you all know, you all creators, if it doesn't work out, we've all been there, done that. All right, so I'll post pictures and share them with somebody who think might like patina. I am out of the patina kits, but I think if you go to that all-in-one, if you go to products, I think there's a link. I have a link in there that you might be able to get it from. I have an affiliate code in there. So anyway, all right, love it. Totally nailed it. Thank you, Yvonne. I love it. Thanks. I always appreciate it. I know there's a lot of people that are very quiet. They're shy to talk. So I appreciate when you give me the love, or share it, or even comment. Love your channel. Thank you. That means so much to me. You have no idea, because I always, I always struggle with what I should be creating, making, and I'm always like, well, this is not cool enough. So I appreciate it. Oh, and if there's anything you ever want me to create or do on a live, just let me know. Message me, email me. I'll be happy to do it. So anyway, again, I'm going to put this up there. There's a little fun graphic. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And, oh, patina. I was wondering, I thought, Barbara, you were maybe talking about paint, but patina, that could be cool. Or even maybe some moss would be really cool. Some like green moss. That's something I have to think about. But I've already spent an hour on here with you all. I don't want to keep you all too long. I know you guys are busy. So anyway, thank you so much. And you guys have a fabulous day. I will see you next Wednesday, or in a reel or whatever on my page. Okay?